Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let's continue on the reservations where we left in the last session. Okay, so the last step here, like when we created, we give all the details and we save it. So once we have saved it, so if I have a number range which is specific to different order types or requirement types, so that number will be generated from that, uh, you know, that number range which we have defined. Okay, so this is the creation part I created. So next step is to check. Okay, so like once we have created it, so to view the stock, so the stock which I have, uh, you know uh, which I've reserved it, to see it I can go to this part. T code is MB25, so we saw a list of MB25, I guess, right, to show the list. So it was 25, or I forgot. 25, right? So this is the one. So reservation list. So if we go to MB25, it's a reservation list that we have. We either we can open MB25, or we can follow the path: logistics, materials management, inventory management, reservation, and then display. So when we go to display, we enter the reservation number, or if we can also enter the plant also. So for that plant or and storage location, it will display the number of reservations that we have created. Okay, so it lists out all those reservations which are there. Okay, so I can view that part over there. So if I know the reservation number by heart, I can give the number directly, or I have other inputs. Like if I go to MB25, there are multiple search inputs via which we can see the number of reservations for that plant, or for that company code, or for that purchase organization. Okay? So I can see that. You can see the stock details. So once we display it, we can view the stock details reserved for that reservation, including the material. So whatever material and whatever quantity I have reserved, and for which location it has been reserved. Okay, for which movement type. So everything will be seen. We can see all these details when we go to display. So this is the second step, to display whatever we have created. Okay. Now, next is the material availability. So I will, like, as I told you, that for each a reservation is for a specific movement. Okay, so I will have to issue the goods. Okay, like I should have materials also, so that they are in my inventory. So to check the availability of materials which are for the reservation, you can go to MB24. So this is a new T code which was not there earlier. So MB24 is to check the availability. So we can go to logistics, materials management, inventory management, reservation, and check stock. So if I go to stock availability or check stock, for this reservation, what is my stock? Is my stock available to fulfill my reservation? That is to check the stock. Okay. So I go into this node. Okay. Logistics, materials management, inventory management, and to check stock. So check stock, actually, it is, see, the stock will be from my inventory itself. Okay. So it is going to go out from my inventory. Okay, so it is checking the stock is for that from MMB itself, but it is, as I told you, there's a column, right? Reservations. Yeah. So once I create the reservation, that 5 quantity I've reserved. So if I go to MMB, I have a column reservations wherein I can see that 5 quantity over there. Okay. So I will have to check, if stocks are available. So I have created a reservation, fine, but I have to see the stock. Okay. So I can see the stock from here as well. Okay. So I can go to that MMB screen wherein I can see the reservation, and I can check if the stock is there, which can fulfill my reservation. Yeah, it is ideally a stock overview that we are going to see, but it is based. This is also another node wherein we can check the stock for this reservation. Okay, so how many stock I have reserved for my reservation, and what is my full quantity in my plant, and how many I've reserved. So I can check these from this part by MB24, as well as from here. Okay, so for that reservation, I can see in MMB what is my stock. I can check the availability. I can see the number of reserved quantity. Okay, number of quantity available in my company code on my plant. Okay, so here's stock availability. So we enter the material, plant, and so it's kind of a report also, which you can do. Like MB24 is kind of a report that so we enter the material, plant, and the location to check the stock availability. So I go into the reservation and go to stock availability, and I can check the quantity reserved and how many, how much quantity is there in my plant. Okay, so
Okay.
I want to see if it can be fulfilled. Like for example, if am I not out of stock also, so I can check the availability over there. Okay, so uh, okay, so here the system will display the available stock. So whatever is available, how much is reserved, how much is in unrestricted. So kind of MMB screen also, but we can go from this node as well. Okay, so specifically for the reservation, I can see the stock. Okay, so it gives you a holistic view of how many reserved, how many unrestricted, and if we have sufficient materials which can suffice my reserve. So I can see a stock overview from here as well. So reserving stock for maintenance order. So if I have a production order which which I want, uh, so as I told you that for any repair work, we have a repair order, we have a production order. Yes. So based on customizing, whenever I have a production order, the reservations get automatically generated. Okay. So we can see that reservation. So once I create a production order based on the settings in my system and the configuration, the reservations create automatically. Okay, so if I create a production order, that CO01 is the production order creation. So once I go to this one, or I create a maintenance order via IW31, the system automatically generates reservations for the requirement. So whichever material I want to produce, okay. So here, like what happens? There's a bomb. Okay, so like for one production order, if I want to produce a material, there must be components. Okay, so like a material can have B and C components. Okay, so to produce a component, I have to issue B and C, right? Because B and C together will B and C will go into the manufacturing process and create A, right? Because B and C are the components of A. So I have to issue those components in that production line so that these two are manufactured to give me the A product. Okay. So whenever I create an order, I will issue those components to
Okay.
manufacture A. In a BOM, we have a parent material, right? Parent material is A, okay, and there are
Okay.
components. Components. The components are B and C. So this is the parent material. A is to be manufactured. Okay. Okay. So A is to be manufactured. Now for A to, the requirement for A to be manufactured is for A to be manufactured. I need B and C. Now B and C is available in my stores. Okay. So, so this is to be manufactured. So I have to manufacture this. So this A is to be manufactured. Okay, it is not
Okay.
yet there with me. Okay, if for this I have a production order, right? Production order. Production order
Okay.
for what? For this material to be produced. Okay, so I
Okay.
have the
For
material
you.
master created for A. So for I have a production order which will give me A. Okay, now
Okay.
to manufacture A, I need components B and C. So components, or like we can, it is a material as well. It is a material. You can call it item, anything. Okay?
Okay.
So for B and C, uh, you know, is needed to produce A. So B and C
Okay.
are both are available in my store. Okay. Now I create a reservation. Okay, via maybe MB21. Now for production order, I have a 261 movement type. Okay,
Okay.
movement type. Okay, and I have to give an order number.
Okay.
So this
Production order
production,
number.
yes, so the production order number. So for this production order number, I will have to issue because available in my store and needs to be issued, right? Because if I do not, if these two materials are inside my store, if I do not issue it, I cannot make this, right? I cannot produce
Okay.
A because
Okay.
for A to be manufactured, B and C is required. So I have a bomb. So parallel material is A. So this is inside the bomb. So inside the bomb, I have a parallel material A, which
Okay.
which has components B and C. and B and C is
Okay.
available in my store. Now to produce A, I need B and C. So I have to
Okay.
issue it. So say for example, B, I have say uh, three quantity of B is required. Okay, for example, and C, I need five quantity of C. Okay,
Okay.
so that means what? To produce A, I need to have three quantities of B and five quantities of C together. So I have to, in my manufacturing process, I need B, three quantity of B and C and five quantity of C to be able to produce A. Okay. So
Okay.
I have to issue, right? I have to issue B, I have to issue three quantity of B and I have to issue five quantity of C so that it can manufacture A of one quantity. Okay. For example. A upon quantity. Yeah, in my BOM, I specify the materials which are components and how much quantity is required to produce this one, to produce A
Okay.
material. Okay. So if I have a reservation for this movement type, then that means I have to issue. So I will issue. So after that, what I'll do a goods issue GI via Migo. Okay, and I will so Migo for reservation. Okay, so um, I'll do a goods issue for the reservation. So reservation is already done for. So in the reservation I have this movement type. Okay. Now
Okay.
I will do a goods receipt for the reservation, and what will happen? I will issue. So issue this part. So this part. So what will be issued? This will be.
B and C.
Form is master data. It is a prerequisite. Prerequisite. Why do I create a BOM? Because of subcontracting or maybe for production. So I have to create a BOM which will specify that in my manufacturing setup. So okay, so if I have a manufacturing company, so I normally will manufacture goods, right? I have to manufacture goods, so I have to tell the system that for producing A, what do I need? Okay, so for A,
Okay.
I need B and C. B and C should be available in my store so that I can issue it when I want to produce A. Okay, so
Okay.
I may produce A, B, C, D, E, F, X, Y, Z. Okay,
Okay.
so for A, X, Y, Z, I have to have separate BOMs. Okay, so BOM is a document wherein I tell my system that I want to create a parent material this A and I need components. So
Okay.
whenever I create a production order. So this is my first step. Second step is to say for production order. This is the PP part. So but still you should know this. So production order is there. So production order is for A. We have a components tab in production order wherein I can see this part components. Okay. I can see components, so I can view components here. Okay, view components from this product. So okay, so this is the second step wherein I have a production order. I create a BOM first. So this is the basic prerequisite master data. This is master data. Second is I make a production order and I can see the components. So these components will come from this BOM. So I can view the components. Third step is that I am actually producing A. Okay. Now here I can see okay, from here, like when I create a reservation or maybe a production order, I can see missing parts. So missing parts. So it will show me here itself. Whenever I make a production order, whenever I do stock availability, for example, because for production order, I can do a normal goods issue. I can do a normal GI without reservation also. So I can do a
Okay.
GI with 261 movement type, you know,
Okay.
uh, 26, 261. I can do a separate GI without. So this is a,
Yeah.
yeah, with the reservation also. So I will go to Vigo and then I go to issue and then I type the production. So this is the GI for prod order. Okay. Here it is, Migo is for, this is for GI for reservation. So this is two separate. This is for GI for production order in Vigo without reservation, and this is GI for a reservation. Here also I
Okay.
am doing the same thing. I'm here also I am giving this quantity itself because these two are required to produce A. So if I have production order, I have to issue BC so that A can be produced. So this is without an order, and this is with this is without reservation. This is with. So here, what I'm doing, whenever I'm doing a reservation, I'm specifying the movement type. So 261, I'm specifying it. So for a 20 movement type or a 261, I can do a slash 261. So I have attached the order. Whenever I create a reservation, I have attached this order which I've created already. Order of say 3 quantity of this or 5 quantity of this, I have already attached these quantities inside. I issue these 2 quantity. I set up 2 materials, and then once that is done, then I just do a GI for reservation. What will happen? It would issue. So this 3 and 5, 8 quantity will be kept aside for this order because I've already reserved it for this order. So this quantity will
Okay.
be kept aside for this reservation so that once I, do a goods issue for this one, so it will physically move from that area, from my store to the production area. Okay,
Uh-huh.
from my plant or where I have kept aside, it will physically
Okay.
move to that production area wherein they can manufacture it.
Okay.
Yes, so because in the reservation we've already tagged the order. Okay, we have already tagged the
Okay.
order in the reservation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once I do a
Yeah.
goods issue, it is going to be for that order because we have already tagged it. But here I
Yes.
have not
Yes.
tagged it, so it is like a separate thing. I mean, this without.
Yeah.
Yes, so and here is for that reservation which wherein I have already tagged the order, and I will issue these 2 materials. So this is the process of how it happens. So
Okay.
yeah, so during an order, the system automatically creates the reservation. So most of the times, what happens that I configure the system in such a way, so it gets automatically, the reservations are saved automatically, okay, for that required material. So for a production order, whatever components are required, it will uh, create a reservation, on that as well. So on those materials, yes, automatic reservation be created with those materials which are required. So the materials required for order. So okay, so the materials will be assigned, okay, and it is kept aside for the specific order, okay, and it cannot be used. So for example, if I have a specific order, I cannot use it for other purposes. So it is reserved for that order or for that maintenance order. So it cannot be used for any other purposes. So I've kept aside so that it is easily available for the production order. So this is I've assigned it. So for a specific order, I have assigned it, and that cannot be used elsewhere. Okay, so those 5 quantity is reserved for that order. Okay, so in SAP system, I can see that 5 quantity is for a specific reservation. Okay, where I've tagged the order. Okay, so in that reservation, I've tagged the order, and it is booked for that production order. So here, whenever you create production order via CO01, it creates the reservation automatically. Okay, so the system normally, I mean, it always creates it because the process in production order is that there is no separate configuration that is needed. It generates it automatically, and then it reserves that amount of goods, and after that, the next process is to issue it. Okay, so just go to MIGO, and you have to issue that the stocks for the production order. Okay, so this is one
Okay.
step which I'll show you. Yeah. Okay, so for material withdrawal or issue, like if you are giving materials, or if you want to issue materials for a cost center, then you have to go to the issue part. So MB1A or MIGO, we go to logistics, materials management, inventory management, goods movement, and goods issue. This is the path wherein you can issue the goods for a cost center. So I have done the scenario as well. So I can show you first on the document, what are the steps, and then on the system also, I'll show you this part. Okay. So issuing reservation against the cost center, and also reservation for a production order. So production order, it creates it automatically. Okay. Okay. Here you enter the number and specify the material. So then we confirm the goods issue and the action. So after the goods issue is successfully done, the system creates a material document, and the stocks are deducted from the inventory. Okay. So this is for the issue part. And if you want to check the status, then you can go to MB23, and or the menu path is logistics, materials management, inventory management, reservation, and then display. So if you display it, you can see the number, you can enter the number, plant, and location. So it's kind of a report that opens up, and you can see the status, like if there is a remaining quantity, if it is completed or not. So you can see it via MB20. For completing it, again, like when we have issued the materials, the reservation is completed. So it is a full issue. So we can complete it and or delete it. So there's a completion indicator as well. So once it is fully issued, it is completed, and we can manually do it, or and also there's an option to complete. So once it is completed, the quantity is debited right from the and it is from it is deducted from the unrestricted use, and also it does not show, so that reservation column, it does not show that it is reserved. So for example, we have a trading department. For example, I have to issue like sets of paper and pens. Okay, so I have created a reservation, securing that quantity. So whatever quantity I want to issue, I have secured it via reservation. Now, for example, I understand that the reservation is not. I mean, I do not need say 10 quantity. I don't only need 8 quantity. So okay, I can change the quantity, and the rest of the quantity is it adds into the unrestricted stock. I mean, for example, if 5 was reserved and I issue 3, so 2 are left. So 2 gets added into the unrestricted use stock. Now, reserving stock for production order, so we'll show. So like here, manual is not needed. Okay, so here what happens? So whenever you create a purchase order, sorry, whenever you create a production order, on the runtime itself, the reservation gets created. Okay, so the number of quantity that you have, it creates automatically. And I can see that number in runtime when I'm creating a production order. Okay. So I'll show
Okay.
you here. And okay, so to review it again, MB23 is a transaction for which we can review the reservation. I will go to logistics, maintenance management, inventory management, reservation, and debt display. So you enter the number and or the production order. So I can see that if it is partially delivered or if it's fully delivered, I can see the status of the reservation, and you can see it. So by MB23, I can see it to review it. Okay. Now, goods issue, like again again we can go to the goods movement, goods issue. So if I have to issue for a cost center, I go to MB1A, or I go to logistics, materials management, inventory management, goods movement, and goods issue. So I enter the reservation number, and the cost center is already tagged because I've already tagged the cost center when I've created the reservation, and I will issue it. So goods issue against the reservation, it will the material or the stocks will be issued to the cost center. That material will be issued to the cost center when I complete the meeting. So once I confirm it, it will deduct it from the inventory. So once I issue it, it is going to reduce the stock from MMV, and the reservation will be updated accordingly. If you create a production order, okay, the reservation will be automatically created in runtime. So in the purchase or in the production order screen itself, you're going to see that the reservation that is already created. Okay, so you do not have to create a reservation in a separate transaction. So you do not need to create a reservation first and then create the production order. You can create the production order itself, and the stocks gets reserved automatically, and you can see the reservation already created. Okay? So that is the process. So for production order process, for the PP process, you do not need to create it first by MB21. So it automatically gets created whenever we are doing a production order. For a cost center issue, for example, as I told you, like if I have to give some material to my maintenance department or a cost center, then we create a reservation manually via MB21, and we tag the cost center. So whatever cost center number is there, I will tag it over there in the reservation via MB21, and I will specify that which stocks are needed for the cost center. So which stocks I need to issue for the cost center, I have to mention in the reservation. Okay, and I save it. Okay, so once it is saved, so I have already tagged the cost center, and I know the material, I know the quantity, and I've also added the cost center number when I have created the reservation. So that reservation is done. Now I have to issue it. So I go to goods, Migo, and I go to and I do a goods issue with respect to the reservation that I've created. So okay, so the reservation which I have just created, tagging the cost center and specifying the material, the quantity, I will put that reservation number in goods issue, Migo goods issue, and reservation, and then I will issue it. Okay, so I will check the document, and it can be a partial as well. So here I can do a partial delivery, a partial issue. Like if I have 10 quantity, I can say that the training department says that no, actually there are people who are absent, so I do not need 10 quantity, I need only 7. So I can change that in the goods issue screen. I can change it to 7, and then I will issue it. So once that is done, what happens? 7 is issued to the cost center, and 3 which is left, it gets added back to the MMB stock. The normal inventory that I have, it gets added because it is not consumed. It's inside our stock. I go to Migo, I go to a goods issue with respect to reservation, and this will deduct the stock from the inventory, and it will fulfill the reservation. Okay. So once I issue the goods, the reservation will be fulfilled. Okay, and if it is partially issued, for example, out of 10, if it is 7 issued, then 3 will get back to our original stock. Yeah. So this the creation of the reservation is normally done only when I'm issuing it to the cost center. For a production order process, there is no need to create a reservation because it is automatically created. Whenever I create a goods production order, it gets created. I can see that number in one time in production order, which I'll show you. So here we can change it, like after making changes, so we can close it. So we can go into that reservation which is already issued, and I can tick this. There's a checkbox which I can do it, and I can complete it. Okay, so there's a completion process, and we can close the reservation.
So that is all in this video. If you got value from this video, do like, comment and share with your friends. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or feedback, share them in the comment section below. Till we meet again next time, you all take care and goodbye.